How's it going? Make sure everything's working before I get started. It's probably a relatively short stream. We'll see. Let me get the other one going. I am doing multi-streaming. One of them requires a phone, so it's a little awkward. Come on. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Yo! Got a few things today. I am working on my streaming area. There's a lot to it, which I can show a few times, but basically I've got this area. You can see 2 screens here, another screen here. We got a Stream Deck, which is the older version. So the idea in this area is I'm going to swap the HDMI to DisplayPort cable I have for this main screen for another one. This is not available on Amazon. This is commercial electric branded. Picked this up locally, which you could probably figure out where this came from, but anyways, swap that. And then I've got this other screen here, which is basically ready to go, but it relates to another screen in another area, which is this. So you can see I've got chat windows there on this old Dell monitor. But the interesting thing about that monitor is that it has picture-in-picture. And the picture-in-picture only works with S-Video or Composite, which RCA jack, I believe it's called. So I've got a few things for that. And the idea is to have a live view basically showing up there. So I go back to this. Actually, let's go to the back camera again. So here, it's a little dark at the moment, but this is my live preview of what's happening in the stream. And I'm going to duplicate that over on that other screen so that in each area, I'll be able to see what's happening live, what I'm outputting, and then also read the chat things. So yeah, and it's a little weird and awkward with what I'm doing, but I also have a mouse here that I will use in that other area. This is a Rapoo, R-A-P-O-O branded mouse. It has silent click buttons to it, which is nice. I prefer that, but the center mouse wheel thing makes a clicking noise and I don't like that. I don't know if that picks up on the microphone, but I have a wireless microphone setup. Let me actually record this. There we go. Just in case, if I want to clip it or something in the future. Yeah. If you have any questions or anything as I go through this, let me know. There's a lot to it, but I could probably start with something simple. Well, let's do this first. I have not even tried to use this yet, but we'll see how it goes. HDMI to AV. It also says AV to HDMI, which I didn't know it would go that direction. But on the back here it says no need to install drivers, portable, flexible, plug and play, compatible with HDMI 1.3, supports standard TV format. And then it says supports 5 volt, 1 amp USB power source. You can use your phone charger or mobile power to make this thing work. I do have an old USB charger here. This is, let me make sure it's the right amperage. This is 1.5 amp, so this should work with this thing. And clearly it does not come with a power source, so we'll have to figure that out. So I could unbox this here, or I could unbox it in this area. I don't know what would be the preference, but I don't have that fully set up, so it probably makes sense to do it in my standard area right now. So that's what it looks like. And then on the bottom here, we can see HDMI, which is what you're outputting. And then the thing that will receive the signal is something in RCA, which is also called Composite. And it'll generally look like 1, 2, 3 connections. I just need this single connection because I'm not doing anything with audio. So generally it's a yellow connection point on the screen or whatever for pushing the audio, pushing the video signal. Anyways, we can pop this open. Let's see what we got in here. We got happy, not happy. Okay, I don't know if I should show their company information, but yeah, it's got company information on the other side. And then we got instruction book. Let's see. I need to take my glasses off when I look up close these days. There's quite a bit. It's in different languages. It might make sense for me to do this in the other area. I guess it's fine. We can go over there. Whoops, wrong camera. All right. So I can get a little bit closer to the stuff over there. Again, if you have any comments or anything, let me know. Like, what on earth is this and why? The thing with the live stream is that it's kind of challenging because people come in at different time points, like such. So here I can adjust my camera view to something nice and then sit down next to the camera. Whoops, let's turn that on. Yeah. Here we go. We can get a little bit closer. Focus. There we go. So I can get this phone so I can see if anyone says anything. All right, so in the package, which is this, we've got USB-A, oh no, wait, yeah, USB-A to micro, which is older tech. I didn't know it was a micro USB thing. So, I mean, that's just a little quirky, you know, it's an older connection type, but that's fine. But it's not going to make much of a difference. Oops. A fairly long cable. Yeah, not too bad. And then I'll attach the power adapter. I'll need this as well. So you need some type of USB power source according to their information. So that's going to go here with the, this is called a USB-A connection. This is the standard old school USB connection. These are still very relevant. It's going to go into a power source. You have a 50% chance of getting it the right direction every time. So that's good to go. Oh, it looks like it came with some stuff here. I don't know if I'll need this. Oh, zoom out here. This looks like a HDMI cable. Yep. So this looks like a standard HDMI cable. In this specific case, at least for me, the goal is to output HDMI from a computer and then go to the older type of video signal. So there's some caps on the connector. This looks decent. It's not super long, but I can see that being useful. The shape of it does have a little bit of memory to the cable. Whoops. Put these things in here. I did purchase this myself. I was not sent the product. Sometimes companies send me stuff, but this is not the case this time. All right, let's see what's in here. This should be the main piece. All right, so actually it has a built-in RCA, also called Composite connection. So this goes to any type of old school CRT screen, maybe a VCR, some type of older piece of video technology. This is what will go to that. Sadly, I don't have any. I do have a CRT, but it doesn't have this. It's the even older type. It's the coaxial type. So it would not have made sense for me to try to use this thing on it. But let's take a look in a bit of detail we've got going here. So there's a power connection. Like I said, this is micro USB. It's not USB-C. Doesn't really matter in this case because it's just like a specialty thing. But the difference, besides just being an older style of connector, is that micro USB needs to go one direction when you connect it, and it's shaped that way, so you can figure it out, right? If you're not used to this older connector at this point. So it goes in there, obviously. There is a switch for, well, getting so much reflection on the screen here. There we go. There's an NTSC or PAL switch. All of my stuff is NTSC, that's North America specification for these older video signals. But you can, if you do PAL stuff or you have an old PAL CRT or something that you imported, or, I'm in the United States, obviously, but maybe you have some PAL device, you could potentially use it with this if you wanted. Looks like some ports on the side for outputting heat, and then we've got the HDMI connection. This is what you're going to, whoops, sorry, trying to get it to focus on this. There we go. This is what you're going to be doing input to. So in my case, I'm inputting from the computer into this thing, and then it's going to output this. It looks like it will output audio, but in my case, these aren't relevant for what I'm doing. So I'm not going to be, or at least at the moment, I won't be testing that. And if anyone's curious, I could potentially do another stream or something to try the audio. So you got your HDMI connection. This is going to go to the computer in my case, but anything that you want to output HDMI and then convert it to that is kind of the goal with this thing. I really don't understand why it says both of them. I didn't think that it would do both, but let's take a look at the manual and see if it says that it can actually do both. Let me find the English version. All right. let's see. Convert a digital HDMI video and audio signal to composite video and the FLFR stereo audio signal. While supporting DVI system sideline signals. Okay, while supporting DVI system sideline signals. So I guess you could potentially convert DVI to HDMI and then output it to composite, according to this, as far as I understand what it means. So it says, convert the high quality HDMI signal smartphone signal to normal. I don't know what. So the goal again is to output to a CRT TV, VHS, VCR, DVD recorders, or basically older technology that take this as an input. And features, no need to install drivers, high quality scaling technology, supports HDMI 1.3B, backward compatible. Okay, it's got the switch, it got input, USB power, AV output. I think there's another English page here. And just make sure it's in focus. It says use HDMI cable to connect. Okay, it's use AV cable to connect the output to the device. And then make sure it's PAL or NTSC. Again, NTSC is for North America devices. Okay, connects the power source to this device. That looks good. So it says up to 1.3B for the HDMI and then 60 FS for that output, whatever that means. Yeah, so it does, based on these specifications, I don't think it does the reverse. So for whatever reason, they put both of them here, but in reality, I think it's just the top one. So if you're looking for the bottom one, I don't think this is it. Anyways, let's move this camera back and get this going here. See how far back I can move it. So there's the screen that I'm going to be outputting to. Make sure it's in focus. Again, if you have any questions or have no idea what I'm doing, let me know. So I've got my computer over here. Let me get this cloth out of the way. And down here, it looks pretty dark, but I have HDMI output right here. There's also HDMI in here, but I'm using it. Although I'm potentially swapping some stuff here as well. So I've got the one HDMI output. And we're going to take this device, plug the HDMI into the computer. Which will actually be, I think I need to do the other one first. Because yeah, so part of the issue, I was using this HDMI to DVI cable. So I think I need to do the other one first. But we can kind of wing it a little bit. Let me take this cable out. With the DVI connections, it's screwed in to keep it in there. So it takes a little bit of effort to... And the way that I have this whole thing set up, it's a little... Actually, I could disconnect this and just hold it and turn it off. just in case. It's pretty old, heavy screen, but this is my jerry-rigged setup. Oops. Sure there's nothing under it. Turns out I don't need this cable. Make sure I'm kind of focused decently. There we go. So with this old screen, we've got the DVI connection right here. Which I will be using, but that's for the other adapter thing. So let me get that. So I need this, I need a DVI cable. Let me see where that is. Up here. So this is the other thing that I'm going to be looking at. This is a very reflective bag, but it's a DVI, or technically DisplayPort to DVI adapter. So we'll take a look at that after we're done with this other one. And then this is a standard DVI cable. If you're unfamiliar with DVI, I can give you a little view of what it looks like. Sorry, maybe do a little bit back further. Just trying to get this camera set up in a way that, yeah, so that's basically what it looks like. It's a bunch of little pins in there, depending on what type of DVI it is. It's just an older display technology for pushing display stuff to a screen or whatever. Well, how's it going? 10 minutes ago. Is this adapter for your computer? Yes. This thing. So it's HDMI to an old display technology. Basically, this HDMI is going to go to the, whoops, sorry. This HDMI cable is going to go to the computer, and the computer is going to be outputting a signal through here. And this old screen that I have has the old technology. So this little connector down here, see it's yellow. And then there's a yellow connector. And this specific screen does picture-in-picture, so I can have two different inputs in that mode. So it's kind of a workaround, but we'll see how it goes. And the main goal, or I mean, kind of what you would want to do with this is you could potentially output a computer, a view of your computer through this to any type of old VCR, old CRT screen, potentially, if it has this type of connection. So they're the AV cables, they're the RCA cables, they also called composite cables. So anyways, I'll be connecting this to here. So it goes in there. And then these ones are for audio. I'm not going to be using these, but this thing can take, presumably it can take audio from the HDMI signal and push it into these two. But that's not something I'll be trying out today. So I'll show you what I'll be doing here. Just focusing the camera. So again, this is going to the computer. Connection point right there. And then this needs a power source. You need some type of USB power source. It said 1 amp for the power source. The specific one that I have is 1.5 amp rated. It's a little bit better than what I need. But let me see. Yeah, I'll just put it in here for the moment. I don't see any type of light or anything indicating that it's running, but we'll see. I'll just try it out and see. Put this back. It's kind of heavy. I think the screen is like, whoops. I think it's like 13 pounds. It's old LCD technology. This specific Dell screen came out in like 2002 or 2003. So you can see that the format of it is not the widescreen standard. But we've got the connection. So turn this on. And then switch to Composite. Okay. Looks like a black screen. This is connected, this is connected. Make sure this is connected properly. All right, I'm gonna go to the computer and see if there's something that I need to change in here to hopefully make it work. Just need this. Let's see. Let's go to Facecam for a moment. Going to Windows Display Settings. Identify 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. That's 2. This one's screen 3. This one's 4. It's probably 5. So which one is this one? Extend the screen to... Maybe I need to turn it off and turn it on. Whoops. It's connected. Oh, is this plugged in? Make sure this cable is plugged in. Yeah, it's in there. It's really dark, but Composite in power save mode. Please check video signal. I'm gonna disconnect this and reconnect it. Oh, did that do something? No, I don't think so. Well, so far, I don't think it's working. Yeah, so I've got connected to the computer, got a power source, I have it connected to the screen. It's in there. Maybe I just need to make sure this is working. Well, don't know. And it says composite and power save mode. Please check video signal. D-sub, DVI. Yeah, it's got to be this one. Well, sure I'm in focus. Whoops. It did say frequently returned item. So hopefully I can figure this out, but it's not looking good so far. That's number 1, number 2, 3, 4. What's number 5? Use cursor movement. Live troubleshooting. It's disconnected again. Plug it back in. Well, pretty sure this is plugged in. Let me connect something to it just to make sure it's working. I could charge a phone. Let's see. Just to make sure. Yeah. So this is working. Another thing I could try potentially is swapping do I have another detection thing? Whoops. How did this get over here? I wonder if the screen flashed. Don't know. Identify. Anything? Nope. Yeah. So maybe this thing has some compatibility issues. I could try a different HDMI cable. I could potentially change the power source. Maybe the better power source could work. Let's see. Let's try this other one. I kind of doubt this would make any difference, but here's another USB power source. Put that in there. Turn this off, unplug this. Let's plug this back in. Turn that on. Nope. Yeah, it's possible that whatever Disconnect display. Keep changes. Identify. Oh, maybe Windows was confusing it with the two different things of the same display. Did that work? Do we have an output? No. It did change the shape of it on the Windows screen. Yep. Well, yeah, this thing is very quirky. Feels like the screens are refreshing and changing, but I keep moving when so what I see here is that I have various screens, and I think this is the one here, but maybe I could try to go like this, see if that worked, and switch back to the hands-on camera, and then potentially take so it sees a screen, but it doesn't. I moved a window over to it, but it's not showing on the monitor. There's that one. Could potentially project my live view to this. Yeah, I think there's some type of incompatibility, sadly. Well, that's kind of disappointing. Let me redo everything again, just in case. Let's turn that on. Composite and power save mode. Please check video signal. Disconnect this. One other thing I could potentially do is try the other HDMI. See if that's the problem. So I don't remember which was this one. See if that makes a difference. Identify 1 and 3. Extend. Keep changes. Let's see, 1, 3, 4. So there is another screen. Where's over here? Well, try to detect, can't find another display. Yeah, it's strange because it shows it in Windows, but it doesn't output a signal to this screen. So my assumption is that this Dell is not able to use the output for this. Yeah. Yeah. How's it? Nope. D sub is VGA. DVI. Yeah, it's got to be this one. Yeah, so I would say don't buy this. But it's possible it might work for something you're using. But at least in my case, it does not appear to be able. So I tried 2 different HDMI outputs. I tried 2 different power sources. Maybe I could try a different HDMI cable, just in case. Let's see. I think I have one down here. Try this one. This is an old Radio Shack cable. So let me disconnect that. Reconnect this. I mean, it's also possible that Windows itself has an issue with all of this when it's, you know, just running without restarting it or anything, which isn't like impossible, but yeah, that didn't do anything. Well, that's kind of disappointing. Wait, make sure it's got all them screens detected. Disconnect. And when I disconnected the screen, it changed the shape of it. Let me disconnect this other one. No, it doesn't look like I can. Extend. Keep changes. Did that do anything? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. It is odd that it sees it, but it doesn't seem able to do anything with it. Let me put a browser window over there. Yeah. And put a browser window into the void. Nope. I think this is a bust, sadly. All right. So I should have gone with an S-Video one. Those were more expensive though. Anyways, the next thing is, see what screen I'm on. Yeah. So that's the DVI to DisplayPort adapter. This thing. Sorry, that might have been a little disorientating. There we go. I've tested this one. This one works. So it comes in a very simple package. Outputs DisplayPort, and it converts it into a DVI signal. This is an older display tech. So I can see the connector. So this is DVI. That's like a full type. There's various types of different like abilities and capabilities, but that's like a full DVI. And then we've got the DisplayPort, which came with this little cap. So this is the DisplayPort connector. And then this one has like a compression lock thing. So that it's got these little metal pieces. So if I can get it in focus. Yeah, so this should go up and down when you press on the button. So that goes in the computer. It looks like there's some tape. It's shiny thing there. And then obviously you need a cable. So I've got a DVI cable here. This one's very old, but a nice robust cable. So I'm gonna put on one side into here. It only goes one direction. See that this is got a wider side, shorter side, or longer, shorter side. Same thing here. And this old connector does have screws, so you make sure it's going to stay in there. A lot of old PC stuff had these screw connections, which is kind of cool in a way, but it was awkward at times to deal with. So again, this goes to the computer, which we can do that in a second here, but whoops. See if my browser windows are back. Oh, no, I think they're in the monitor that is no longer existing. Oh, maybe they'll show up when I connect this screen. But I had some browser windows that windows are gone. But sorry, this might be disorientating for a second here. Try to be not as extreme with my movements. Right, make sure it's focused. Oops, I don't think I got it right. Okay, so we're gonna return this thing to Amazon. And then we're going to, maybe I'll get another one that will hopefully work. But that one doesn't work for me. Maybe it works for some people, but sadly, I'm talking about this thing. This AVI, HDMI to AV. So for whatever reason, it's not compatible with the AV connection, also called Composite and RCA. It's not compatible with that for some reason. So this can go into the computer, locks in, and then this will go into the back of the screen here, which I can take this off again. It's pretty heavy. So we've got, again, the various connectors. So here's a DVI. Here's what we tried to do. Again, this screen has picture-in-picture mode. I have used this to do the picture-in-picture mode. I actually got input from Super Nintendo, and I'll put it into this screen and then also use the DVI at the same time. It was cool. That was kind of the goal of what I was trying to do, but didn't work. So anyways, this is going to go into here. And I can attach this. It's kind of struggling. Well, it's, yeah, I wouldn't say that I miss these screw type connections. They do have a thing on the tip that you can do whoops. Use a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, but I don't think you need them super tight, and just making it work. All right. Let's go over here again. Make sure it's kind of decently positioned. Whoops. My camera is in center focus mode and manual focus. So that's why I hold my hand out with the hope that it'll focus on the hand. So this one's simple enough. This one's easy. This is more of a relevant current technology thing that you can do for older screens to get that DVI connection, which is the best. The DVI in this case is the best quality for this type of older screen. And all I need to do here is switch to that and it'll work. The cable I have is a little excessively long, but it's fine. Yeah, so see that the Windows thing is down here. Oh, I do wonder if, so it's doing something a little different than Windows. It's duplicating one of the screens. Let me go into display settings. I do wonder if this potentially messed up the other thing. Extend. Keep changes. Identify. So that's number 5. Number 2. 1, 2. I have so many screens. Yeah, it's so quick. This is how many screens I have connected at the moment. Yeah. Let's go back to this view for a second. So that's got its own thing. What I can do is take this and then move that over there, which brings me to this other mouse. Maybe I'll show it in the other view, but this is a mouse I bought a while back. It's a Rapoo brand. It has silent click buttons, which are nice for me personally, but the mouse wheel, the scroll wheel, makes a click noise. And I'm personally not a fan of that. But I need some type of way to control things over here. So I mean, it's going to be as simple as just connecting it to one of the USB ports on the computer. But before we do that, we can get a close-up of this mouse. So I can just zoom in here. instead of moving the camera. There we go. Yeah, so pretty simple, nice, basic, functional mouse. Again, the buttons here are quiet. They do make a noise, but it's not anything crazy. I can hold it up to my microphone. I am pressing it, but I don't know if that's showing up. And then here's the scroll wheel sound. So that's that. At least for me, the only thing I don't like is that clicky scroll wheel. And on the side here, this is where the sensor is. That's not great. I prefer when the sensor is in the middle, but for whatever reason, it's on the side on this one. And the pads down here are pretty small. So that's another reason I wasn't like super thrilled with this one. Like the pads to help it glide. It's fine, but you know, not ideal, sadly. There's the information on it. It's kind of hard to show on camera. That's how it looks. It's pretty lightweight. Very plasticky feeling. But it's not the worst mouse I've ever handled. I mean, it's hard to give context like that, but it's not the worst thing. So this will be connected to the computer, and left over here, I might look for a better solution. The problem with using a regular mouse, with what I'm personally doing in this area, is that I think I'd probably want like one of those trackball mouses, which I do have one, but it's being used in another area, so that I could just like set it over here and leave it instead of needing space to move the mouse around. So I can connect this to the computer. Oh, also, before I finish that part, here's the USB connection if you're curious. The cable is pretty thin, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's going to be a bit lighter weight than some cables. I don't know longevity wise, I don't know if that will make any difference, but at least know that the cable's a little bit thinner than most that I've tried. Yeah. Let's scroll over here a little bit. Then up. Whoops. Plug this in. I will be doing a stream on USB stuff and adding USB ports to my computer with all the various headers on the motherboard. Now there we go. Yeah, it works. I don't know how visible that is on screen, but got the mouse going. So I actually have two mice connected to the computer at the moment, and having a second mouse in this case makes a lot of sense for what I do. So I can maximize that and then go to this. So this is the mouse, Rapoo brand, wired silent ergonomic silent mouse. So in this area, it might even make more sense to use a wireless mouse, but for me, the hassles of caring about batteries and things tend to, you know, I prefer not to deal with batteries. So I like wired mice usually. However, I guess I could pull this out. Whoops. See. So I have a Logitech ball mouse, trackball mouse. It's kind of connected to something else. But trying to get past my lighting. So this is a trackball mouse. It's kind of cool. Let me see if it's still available. Let's see. Add product. Sorry, this phone is a bit slow. Come on. This is a prepaid phone that I bought for $20. I know on Amazon I'm not supposed to talk about money, but too bad. LOGI. Let's see what it's called. This is the trackball. Model number TBC21. Let's see. Does it exist? No results. Let's call it trackball. Are they still called Logitech? Or are they called Logi? No, I see one, but it's excessively overpriced. Maybe it's not sold anymore. Well, I'll add it, but don't spend that much. It's very possible they discontinued it. Yeah. Well, it has a few drawbacks. I'm going to go over it anyways. So I'm here and might as well. So that's what it looks like. It's kind of a interesting, if you haven't tried one of these, you basically, instead of moving the mouse like this is what you move to do that type of thing. And then on the sides here, it's going to have 4 buttons. So there's this big one, that big one, and then these 2 additional buttons. Yeah. And we can get a little focus here. That's the information on this specific one. It works decently well. I don't really have any complaints. It does have a bit of rubber type material to help it stay where it needs to be. But in this case, these are not meant for anything besides holding it in place, because all of your movement's going to be with this ball. So pretty cool. And I've had this one for quite a while, and it's decently thin. So, and at the very least, you could, for a setup like this, when you want to control like a chat window or something on the screen, and then you could potentially have some type of interface. So that's kind of the goal with something like this, which works decently well, but then you need more space. With something like this, with the ball, it just can sit there and you can use it as you need to make it work. So I could easily swap these two. Whoops. Let's plug this guy in. That 50-50 dice roll of USB-A connections. Let's get a better view here. sure it's focused kind of decently. So there it is. So I've got the mouse on the screen now. I can easily just hold this button down with my thumb and then use the ball to move around the mouse. It's pretty cool. And then, like I said, the specific one has 4 buttons. With their software and such, I would assume you could customize some of it, but it does have like the automatic adjustment for some things. But yeah, it looks like I just accidentally closed or unintentionally closed the window. Or maybe I moved it? I'm not sure. Anyways, one thing that I would have liked on this is if it had a scroll wheel, like a simple scroll wheel like other mice have right here. That would have been ideal on something like this. I'm sure there are ones that do have it because it's just a little awkward to use buttons or this thing. I think this is preferred for scrolling web pages and stuff. Yeah, so other than that, I'm gonna make one more attempt with this AV thing. See if we can get it working. It's possible Windows was having some type of weird. It is Windows 11. I feel like they took many steps back instead of steps forward. So let's plug this back in. And then you can plug this in, turn that on, and then I'm going to put this back into the screen. I mean, it's very possible that this will work fine with some other output, like a CRT, but I personally don't have a CRT that can take this input. So let me see here. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. I'll try it. Probably gonna go dark. Yeah, that's no good. Let's go back to DVI. And then we can go into the menu. I even remember how to do that. Let's go into here, picture in picture. So there's the composite. So I have it selected and it's a black screen. So ideally, I'd have another window here, but this thing appears to be incompatible with the screen. Disappointing. I'll mess around with Windows a little bit more, just in case. But yeah, that is definitely not a thing that's good for the technologically unsure. Let's see. We've got number 6. Number 4. Just trying to figure out which which screen it potentially is. We have a number 2. And that's number 2. So it's this one. I'm going to disconnect. Keep changes. Identify. Let me see. Let's extend. Yeah, it gave me a weird format. So let me see if I can adjust anything else here. Switch back to the face cam. Yeah. So I think this is what it should be. We can also add, let's see, add this just in case we see it do anything. So that it's still dark. I don't know if there's a way to ease cursor movement, minimize windows. Remember Windows locations based on monitor connection. Night mode scale. Oh. Let me see. Keep changes. Yeah, I wonder if that did anything. Like lowering the resolution. There's also advanced display. Let me quickly reset that just in case. Turn the screen off. Yeah, it sees the screen and just for whatever reason won't display anything. It's supposed to show up here. Let's go into advanced. So that's the information on that device. Active signal mode. Variable refresh not supported 8-bit. Let's try like some random low refresh rate. Dynamic. Properties. Update driver. Search automatically. Generic PNP. Search. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna do anything. So go back to display settings. Nope. Yeah, it said no drivers were needed. Back to here. Switch to, I think it said recommended. I don't know why though. Nope. Yeah, it's not showing anything. Display orientation. Graphics. It's a Steam game. Yeah, I think this is not gonna work, sadly. I don't think there's anything I can change here. Why does it have a little asterisk? Keep changes. Now it's doing 1024 by 768. Yep. Nope. I tried pretty much every possible configuration, every possible way to get it working, but yeah, it's not gonna go, sadly. Yeah, it's still dark. Nope. All right. Anyways, that was the goal, to have that picture-in-picture mode using that AV cable, but that didn't work. I have a few other things that I was gonna go into, but this is not available on Amazon and such, so I'm just gonna do it off screen. But it's just a DisplayPort cable. My main screen has a DisplayPort connection, but I'm using a HDMI to DisplayPort cable at the moment, so it just would make sense to go full DisplayPort for that one. Then I can have another HDMI available. Or, I mean, technically, no, I'll just have a non-converted thing. So, yeah. Anyways, hopefully you found it interesting and potentially helpful or useful or something. At least that DVI adapter. If you have old screens that use DVI, it makes sense to use DVI instead of like a VGA cable or something, which is lower quality, and it's more adjustment and things to make that work properly compared to DVI. So converting DisplayPort to DVI makes sense. Yeah. Peace. I'm gonna head out. Let's see. I gotta go to the phone for the Amazon.